Okay, muchachos, this video we're going to talk about the verb tener, which means to have. So we'll do our little chart again. Remember, this is, so in English, all of these mean the same if you go back to your subject pronoun chart. And so you have I have, you have, we'll have two different ways to say you have. He or she has, we have, and you guys and they have, okay? And so it's a little, this verb, a lot of times when we do verbs and we show you all the forms, it's because they're weird. They're irregular, so they don't really follow any of the rules. So tener has a weird yo form, and it's also a stem changer in the other forms. So anyway, so my yo form is tengo. The tu form is tienes. The L and the ella and the usted form are tiene. So that tiene works for all of them. So remember, if you say tengo, let's say, for example, you say yo tengo. That means I have. If you say tengo all by itself, it means I have. A lot of times you'll hear people who are learning Spanish, they'll say yo tengo. They'll include the yo because it feels better, because in English it means two words, I have. So they want to say two words in Spanish, yo tengo. But you only need to say tengo. So whether or not, this doesn't mean I have. It just means I have, and this is just I have as well. Okay, so whether or not you include the yo, it's optional. Now, when you get down into tiene, you do need to include usted or el or ella, just to clarify who you're saying who has. Do you have it? Does he have it? Does she have it? Okay? All right. So tu works the same way as this one. You can include the tu or not, because tienes means you have. Okay? Now let's go over to the plural side. To say we have, we're going to say tenemos. This is tenéis. So again, you'll only hear that in Spain. I learned my Spanish in Colombia, so they never use it down there. And then down here we have tienen. So these two forms, you'll need to clarify who it is, because remember, this could mean you guys have or they have. All right? Okay, so also with tener, we have a couple little phrases, like if you use tener or one of the forms of tener and add the word que to it, you've created an obligation. So in English, it'd be the equivalent of saying to have to. So for example, if you say like, hey, let's go to the movies, you're like, oh, I can't, I have to clean my room, or I have to do my homework. So you'd say tengo que, and then whatever the activity is that you have to do, that you're obligated to do, okay? So that word little que, no accent. Remember, for the question words, we'll have an accent up there, but this means that or than without the accent. But again, in this phrase here, it means creates the obligation to have to. Tener is also used in some other idioms where we talk about tener años. Wow, that was a pretty bad end there. That's where we talk about someone's age. And so again, it doesn't translate directly, it's just to have years. But we use this in Spanish, and in English it would say like, oh, I am 15 years old. We talked about that one on the other video. And there's other phrases with tener, like tener hambre, to be hungry, tener suerte, to be lucky, tener sed, to be thirsty. What was the other one? Tener razón, to be right. So we have a lot of phrases with tener that are called idioms, where they don't translate directly. So you have to understand what it's saying over here. And that works the other way too, where you can't translate back from English. So if you can't say like, oh, I am lucky, you don't say soy suerte, right? Soy indicates that you're talking about characteristics or your name. So you don't want to tell everybody your name is suerte. You'd say tengo suerte, okay? All right, so there's our verb tener.